بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صباح الخير. أتمنى أنكم استمتعتوا باليوم العلمي بتاع أمس. استمتعتوا بالمدينة والسعيد والبحر. ويعني نعتذر إن إحنا صحينا بدري كده. يعني هم الأجانب دايما متعودين يصحوا بدري، يعني الساعة 8 قاعدين. I'd like to welcome both of our speakers, Dr. Titiana Zinchenco. I hope I pronounced the name well. PhD is a psychotherapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, rehabilitologist. She is the president of the International Association for the Study of Game Addictions in Switzerland. Currently, she works as a psychotherapist in private practice in Ukraine, and she is working also in UK as a director of the Center for Information Addiction Research Council. Dr. Stansilav Hohel, psychologist, writer, human evolution facilitator, and he is author of 6 books in Ukraine and Russia. Work as a counselor, psychologist, and trainer of psychological support and self-development groups, also in private practice in Kyiv, Ukraine. Dr. Titiana and Dr. Stansilav, they will talk about the spiritual crisis as the cause of the increase in mental disorders. How can changing the format from a consumer to a creative society improve mental health? They gave me these 2 gifts in the morning. The first book about meeting a different mind, a mind without emotions, like this. Artificial consciousness. Yeah. Not artificial intelligence. And the second one is Alatra, and they will explain what is Alatra. I hope you will enjoy these 2 lectures, and I hope the conflict between Ukraine and Russia will end soon, and Ukraine will live in peace again. Welcome to Egypt, and I hope you enjoy your time in Egypt.
Thank you. Every conflict and war has consequences our consumers format because it's big business, you know. So people want to live peace and peaceful and without any conflict. We are participant international community, and our association, International Association for the Study of Game Addictions, partner community, creative society, and you know more about this during our speech. Okay? So, in the mental health sphere, nowadays we observe a terrible situation. For 60 years, there has been an unprecedented increase in mental disorder worldwide, a trend that has persisted in countries with diverse population regarding economic well-being and cultural and religion backgrounds. When we examine the prevalence of individual mental disorder in the various countries, in which statistics are well collected, we found an upward trend over the last 30 years in mass studies. Particularly alarming in the steady increase in the prevalence of chronic distress, chronic distress, anxiety, depression, eating disorder, addiction, self-destructive and aggressive behavior, and other mental health problems among children, adolescents, and young people over the last decade, last 10 years. Yeah? The epidemic of mental illness is an inevitable consequences of all the manifestation of the global crisis facing humanity today. Global crisis, economical crisis, geopolitical crisis, climate crisis, ecological crisis, crisis in mental health sphere and the general medicine and educational sphere, everywhere. About all the effect of climate change, exacerbated by economic insecurity to the point of starvation and the impoverishment of billions, the upsurge of wars, violence and brutality in society, and the forced migration of population due to all these factors. From the early 19th and the start of our century, the prevalence of mental disorder gradually increased, and between 2012 and 2015 there was a dramatic jump. It's starting to grow exponentially. According to the official World Health Organization statistic, every fifth person in the world suffers clinically from some kind of mental disorder, and 20% of children and adolescents. About 10 to 15% of adults suffer from severe mental illness such as clinical depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and degenerative diseases. Every 40 seconds, someone in our world dies by suicide. More than 30 to 40% of people in some countries, this figure reaches 50%, suffer from mental disorder in their lifetime. More than 20 in the last 12 months, teenagers and young people suffer from anxiety, stress, and depression, lost the meaning of life and interest in whatever cut up their bodies, commit suicide, become victims of violence, or show aggression themselves. And this is only according to official figures. Only 25 to 30% of people with mental disorder go to official psychiatric service, and only 5 to 10% of those with addictions. We don't even realize the true extent of prevalence of mental disorder. I show you what situation in the country, in different countries, with increasing mental disorder. This is United States. So you can see increase from 25 to 2070, yeah? Plus 47%. The age 12 to 13, and yeah, it's a terrible reason. 64% in the age 14, 15, and 69% in the age 16, 17. Next slide. Press this one. Oh, sorry. It's a difficult pressing. Yeah. This is suicide. Solid plans, attempts in United States. You can see increasing in the age young people and adolescents. It's different. Another study, you can see the same picture. It's terrible increases. 67, 74% increase. This is distress, serious psychological distress. The next. So, another research, but exponential increasing. About 2012, 2015 years, you can see. I show you. the next. This Canadian research, the same. Young people increase exponentially in the last 10 years. And this is a picture causes of death report. Yeah? Self-destructive behavior, aggression, and suicide. It's the main important cause of death people. So in 2020 years. It's very interesting because you can see aggressive, increasing aggressive in the age, the young people and adolescents, teenagers. I describe this because it's very, very, very important. Yeah.
So it's all to see.
Overall, 2/3 of this death were homicide and 30% were suicide. In 2021, 7 children per day were killed by firearms. In the first 6 months of 2022, more than about 300 mass shootings in the United States, including the shooting in Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. And the next slide is in a different country. It's in Europe, in Canada. Belgium, German.
Some numbers about Egypt,
25. In Egypt, the same picture you observe. 25% people have mental illness and increasing 65 to 68% stress and anxiety disorder, depression in the age from maybe 12 to 36 years in this age. Young people and teenagers.
كان عندنا ورشة اللي هي اللي قبل المؤتمر كانت جايبة أرقام من مصر كانت بتريفير للبحث بتاع الأمانة اللي هو 2018 كانت جايبة منه أرقام فبقول لها ده 2018 دلوقتي زدنا.
So exponential increasing from 2012, 2014, 2015. You can see this. Not like continuously, it's exponentially. And I don't have mouse and it's not.
You have laser point.
This one, yeah? Yes. In the United Kingdom, the same picture. So around the world, all countries, different economical level and climatic and cultural, religion. So it's an international problem. It's a global world problem, increasing. Yeah, because it's consequent. It's Belgium. This is Australia. about happiness in our population. So exponential increases, the same 2013, 2014 happiness people decrease and unhappiness increase. Okay. What caused this situation? This is exactly global crisis, but in the heard this global crisis, spiritual crisis. The epidemic of mental illness is the inevitable consequences of all the manifestation of the global crisis facing humanity today. One of the most important factors is, of course, social aspect. It's not just about this standard of living as a mental disorder, equally distributed across of social economic spheres. Something is wrong in the format of relationships between people. At the moment, we all live in a consumer society. At the first place in consumer society, money, profit, yeah? Dominate and power. People each other. At the moment, we all live in a consumer society with dominant material values. The consumer attitude toward each other in the family and the collective between countries based to selfish desires leads to conflict, violence, lies and manipulation between people. And globally to an economic crisis, an increase in crime and war. In addition, climate change with natural disasters and epidemic are increasing all over the world. This factor contribute to the risk of developing a mental disorder. So our values change, and we have to change this situation. So change format from consumer format to creative format, and in the creative society, human life on the first place, not money. We show you about situation in the world today. Video, short video. Help me, please. No. I need to return, come back to my folder. Help me, please, with laptop because I don't know how I can do it. I need to return to a folder with presentation. It's not. It doesn't work. My fingers. No, anything. Yeah, it doesn't work. I need to come back, return to my folders. But without some.
One in 8 people in the world is starving. France, 3.7 million people are severely malnourished. Germany, 3 million. United Kingdom, 2.6 million. Australia, 3.2 million. Japan, trillion. The IMF states that in order to meet the debt, at least 100 countries will have to reduce expenditure on healthcare, education, and social protection. Every second, 750,000 pedophiles are online every second. Every third person in the world lives in poverty. Half of the world's population is living on less than $5.50 a day. Every fifth victim of human trafficking in the EU is a child. Crime rate. Nearly 80% of the world's population now live in countries with high levels of crime. Exploitation of people in the form of human trafficking has become the most pervasive criminal economy in the world. World expenditure. World military expenditure has exceeded $2 trillion for the first time. All 9 nuclear weapon states are preparing for a nuclear war. The greatest threat. Climate. 2021. Losses from cataclysms total $343 billion. Way out. There is a way out. Creative society. Our survival is in unity. Join in.
Stanislav described project Great Society and how change format from consumer to creative, create condition to mental well-being, improve mental health people. This is in the folder. No, in the folder. Not this presentation. It's PDF.
So Dr. Titiana Zinchenco mentioned about global crisis, which is the main reason for mental disorders now. Because if we concentrate only on mental treatment, then it will have no success. Because every time we treat one person, 1,000 others become ill. So we need to change the format of society. The present society is consumer society, which is money-centered. It's not human life-centered. So this is a system, and it works like that. That's why we have wars, we have ecological problems. We have a system where it is not profitable to solve the problem, because a source of financing will be cut. This is as the UN paid for paying, it takes taxes from countries, and countries take taxes from us to fight hunger, war, ecology. What happens? Nothing. Because this is a source of financing. The problem must exist. The same medicine. Psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors depended from ill people. They pay them. But in a healthy society, they will get money for not having ill people. They will get money for people because people are healthy. It's another approach, another system. So we have to change all the system. And I'm here to present you international project, international global project. There are already 50 million volunteers around the world, which name Creative Society. This is human life-centered project, the principle of which you can read there. First value is human life, second value is human freedom, human safety, third human freedom, then the values of truth, Media write just the truth, then propaganda, nationalism, everything that divides people, self-development, new economic model, and so on. How this can be achieved? In 3 stages. First stage is informing people about that we want change format. The new format of society exists. That's what I'm doing now. Second stage is voting for politics in every country that supports this project. There is no such politics in all countries now, because people don't know about the project. But in some countries there are already. If you watch forum that prepared Creative Society, we shall give you a visiting card if you want, then you will see that such politicians are already in the United States, in Guatemala, and in Argentina. In other countries, some are interested, but still are not. So it will be the second stage. The third stage, when in all countries, politics will come to power that support Creative Society, that will be a world referendum. When world referendum happens, then we pass to, there is a one world constitution, and we pass to society which is under public control, and it is self-governed. It doesn't have elites. Because when we have elites, they divide people. They are interested to have different states, different religions, to have wars, to have conflicts, to earn for that conflicts, to have epidemics, to earn from that epidemics, to have bad ecology, to earn from having bad ecology, and so on. So this is the situation. And for create conditions for building a creative society on the whole planet, it must be only evolutionary way, legal way. So it must not be no revolution, no rape, no anything. That's why we insist on evolution way, informing people, and then pass in peaceful way to the second stage. Creative society values are different. For example, we see that there are climate change, dramatic climate change in the world. Do scientists know about earthquakes? Yes, they do. They tell the governments that in some region the earthquake can happen. Now it's everywhere, or typhoon or something like that. In human life-centered society, there will be a saving of people. They would take people to safe place, feed them, give them the roof, and then come back. But in our society, it's too expensive, because it's always lack of money. So people are just let to die, because it's cheaper. They die, and then they see, well, government thinks, well, maybe we'll save, well, maybe it not happen, maybe scientists mistake, maybe, you see, but it's too expensive, so let them die, and then we shall see what happens. We pay to those who survive, or we pay to those who die. This happens everywhere. Nobody of us can be sure that somebody will take of us. This could take care of us. This can happen only when society follows this principle: human life, human freedom, human safety, transparency, and openness information for all. Because when it is divided into states, you can never get all information, because there is military, there is intelligence. They say this is a secret. We don't even know for what we pay our taxes, whether it's really to go to some good things or somebody builds villa for that, and it happens in every country. So the creative ideology means that in media must not divide people. They must not write about somebody is bad. They must not write that somebody is enemy. They must write only about good things that connect people. Then development of personality. So every person must have possibility for free education. In fact, basic rights for human life is free education, free medical care, free roof, and free eating. So it means that you're not dependent. And it can be supplied, because in creative society, all strategic resources like fossils, oil, gas, diamonds, gold must belong to people. You know, that was in Libya under Gaddafi. He paid people because he said, we sell your oil, you have part of it, you live on its territory. So everything must belong to people of the planet of Earth, not to some, you see oligarchs in different countries, some millionaires. It must belong to us. and we must use it. We must heat our houses, we must use electricity from that is in the earth, it's ours. So justice and equality. We can achieve this point only when there will be no power. The society will be self-governed. Everybody is given a smartphone. If we want to improve life of society, we invent the law, we put it open voting, people see, people vote, 50% plus one, automatically it is law. So we don't need any, in such a way, any government, we don't need any, you see, military, we don't need any police, it's just a matter of people themselves. They can decide, they can come to that. Self-governance society, that's what I'm telling now. Power creates inequality. Historically, there was a mistake when people gave power to other people. First, they were managers, because if you live in some village and we have some common house, we want some manager to care about that house, and we want some guards to prevent ill people to come there. But suddenly it changed, and they become not managers of people, not servants of them. They become too important. They use their guards to take money by violence. And now simple people, they depend on those who have power. Those who have power, they have money, you see. So it's not a new communism or something like that. The business will be developed, there will be capitalization, but we tell only about strategic resources. They must belong to humanity. It is abnormal that some people starving and millions of tons of foods are eliminating. It is not normal that people are not saved during crises. So we are not for some political party. We can support any political party that takes this program. So if you have some politicians to tell about program, tell about it, and they will have a lot of voters after people will be informed. This is the program of the future. If humanity survives, it will survive with the help of that program. We are not fixed on that. If there are other programs to save humanity, we can discuss them and take some ideas or take some common decisions. But unfortunately, in present time, we have no other program that was advanced like that. I know only the program of Creative Society. So 50 million already knows about that, and the volunteers are in any country. The last forum, we prepared 3 forums. The online international forum. The last one name was Global Crisis. It is a way out. There is a way out. It is translated into Arabic. You can join creativesociety.com and watch this forum in Arabic language to see scientific researches about climate, about mental health, about new economic model, and many other interesting things. And to decide whether you want to support this movement, to be part of it, and to get a better future for humanity. As you see, mental diseases, they can be solved only in psychological field. This is the main idea of what we are telling about. To do our work in the best way, we have to change society for better, to eliminate reasons for mental illnesses. Because when people always think about a problem, the problem will not be decided. It will only come worse. The health will only come worse. So, of course, our work is important to give people chance to be healthy. But we cannot save all the society. It doesn't depend on us. So. Yes, we have to voice out our position that we want global changes. We want to change the system, because in this system it is difficult to work. And our labor is underestimated, because not all people can afford to go to psychiatrists, to go to psychologists, but still they have a lot of problems, still they have a lot of diseases. So the approach must be changed. to financing of medicine, to financing of all the problem, solving all the problems that we have. And in this situation, when power doesn't belong to every one of us, it can be solved, unfortunately. So it is the time when power must go back to people, and this is what was told in all spiritual sources like Bible, like Quran. Do anyone see Prophet Muhammad, peace to his name, or Jesus or Buddha giving orders, yes, to his disciples? No, they just spoke to them, and people wanted to follow their way. Do somebody knows that they use money to buy some disciples, or to pay them that they will do something that they don't want to do? No, prophets didn't do that. And all problems that we get now, we get them because we don't follow our prophets. Mr. Matt have now a later book where we have some scientific grounds for studying of spiritual sources, because now many things that were described in ancient spiritual texts, they are proved, including prophecies of Quran about climate, about last days, about Arabic lands that will, rivers will flow on Arabic land. There is a passage like that, and that will be the last days. The earthquakes will come in last days, so everything's happened now. So our task is not to have a world like this. Our task is prevent it. If we are worth of spiritual ways, so we have somehow to change it. And science shows, scientific statistics that you have seen, it shows that it really has come time for that. It is time to act. It is not time to discuss, to be divided, separated. So all people of goodwill must somehow participate in it. Now we use every conference to tell about that, to support the idea of creative society, and we'll be very glad to, if you take some part in it, if you study it, because you don't have to tell something that you don't know yourself. So study it. We can prove every world. You can find the proofs on online forum, and watch the forum, and you will see how many experts, how many scientists, volunteers of Creative Society participate in that movement, collect the statistics, make an interview. This project itself, it doesn't come from somebody's head. We started from asking people in different countries, are you happy with the society you live in? They all tell the same. It was the same in the United States, Africa, Russia, Ukraine. It was the same. They tell, no, we are not happy. We don't feel safe. We are unhappy because of social inequality. We are unhappy because we know that nobody will defend us before criminals and something like that. So they are not happy because the format of society is wrong. So after that we asked them, what society you want to live in? And they answered, we want to live in society where human life will be respected, where you don't have to think about food, about roof, you don't have to think about education and medical health. So we made this program. We just analyzed it and give it 100% positive, you see, because now many programs have not to let something, but these have only just positive values. The only thing we don't want to let is to write media, because media has power on our minds. So media have been restricted, they must not write about negative things. But again, it is possible only when world will not be divided. So the millions of interviews and answers led to eight foundation of Creative Society. So I'm very glad to have your attention, thank you, and I hope that you like it.
We will be happy answer from your questions. I describe situation in my main research sphere is informational behavior addiction, like social networks, gaming, gambling, and serials, and porno content. This is 100 billion business. In this format, we can do with it anything. In creative society, a game company not disappear, yeah? But transform activity. They have to create, not create manipulative and aggressive algorithm. Yeah? Their designer and program potential will concentrate to create product, informational product, which will develop educational product, yeah, develop self-development for the self-development. So it's peaceful change.
Thank you very much, Dr. Titiana and Dr. Stanislav. This is very nice presentation and a new content for the physicians. We keep talking about diseases, illnesses, and medications. You mentioned that at least 1/3 the people are unhappy in the world, and 1/3 have poverty. And you ask for change this situation. I'd like to confirm that in Egypt we are very happy here. We like our society.
People live only $5 a day. Some people live.
Yeah, but we like our leaders, and we want to change the society. Otherwise, we will be arrested here.
That's right. You have much better situations than in other countries, because in no country you can live for $5 a day. Here you have. But still, you see, to solve global problems, we have participated in this movement. Because if you are separated, you will have expenses for war, because some countries build creative society, somebody not. So you cannot refuse from government, you cannot refuse from your army. You have to pay for it. Why? So that's why good politicians, they will accept it. They will tell, okay, maybe not today, but we are starting this, we implement it to the constitution, to laws, and then when the global process goes, when America says yes, when Russia says yes, when China says yes, big leaders says yes, why not Egypt? I don't say that you must disarm and you must put away your government, you have a good government, nice government. So wise politicians, they will understand that. They will support that.
One of the reasons the Egyptians can overcome the problems, that they are believing, they have some religious beliefs, that how to overcome stress, how to overcome poverty. If you have patience, that this is from God, if you will have the paradise in the other life. So
that's right.
Make people how to overcome the problems in life.
Yes, yes. Religions must help to people. Religions have a grain of truth. You see, every religion has a grain of truth. And Islam is the last religion. It's last prophet. There was no other prophet, other prophet after him. So every religion is have some distortions, but Islam has less. So anyway, we support all religious beliefs as soon as they are understood correctly, understood in spiritual way. So they don't, when they don't say that you must kill somebody, you must have war, yes, you must have terrorism. If there are spiritual values, it's good because it's in all religions. If you tell about be kind to each other, if you tell about helpful, I know that you have nice tradition Ramadan when you invite all people and let them eat and so on. It's nice. You see, Arabic people, they are spiritually more developed than Western society. I know that.
Yeah, we have the same figures about mental illness in Egypt. Like 1 in 4 have, at least 1 in 4 have psychiatric disorders, and 1 in 2 have psychiatric symptoms. But we have the lowest suicidal rate all over the world, and despite we have the same prevalence of mental illness. So this is another reason how the religious beliefs will affect the behavior.
We talk about social changes. Yes, it's like social cause in this crisis. not about everything, but it like start to positive change in our world, in our society. It's a transition period only. Creative society is not like конечная точка. Final point, yeah. It's only one step, first step. Yes, from consumer society, animal level, our relationships, yes, between people and planet, between country, to human step. So it's transition period to ideal society, to spiritual society.
عايز تسأل؟
Colleague has a question.
وأنا معاك يا باشا معاك.
Just a question, we finished the 2 lectures or one? We finished the 2?
No, one.
Only one, because we are
If you don't have time, we can
We didn't
finish.
have time. We didn't have time.
Okay.
because we have a prayer at 1 o'clock, so maybe we have to leave before.
شكرا.
Thank you, because it's more important.
Thank you very much.
The most important.
أنا بس بسرعة كده هأذكر الجميع. We had a great thinker in Egypt, دكتور عبد الوهاب المسيري. He's one of the best friends of Dr. Ahmed Abdallah. He wrote many books about this, about the self-destruction of the Western civilization. He exhibited this because it is based on competition, power, and the unlimited freedom, and use this for the free sex and open the door for homosexuality and so on. And he expected that the Western civilization will fall. He died since about more than 10 years. This prestigious lecture put us in new challenges for humanity, because if we follow the Western civilization, we will fall with them. So we have to take a breath and rethink again. It is a very good idea. I wish full success for it, and inshallah it will spread in Egypt. Thank you very much.
Rather than to change the leaders, to change the society.
No,
The main idea.
Not leaders.
We
not
cannot
leaders.
change the leaders.
No, not change leaders.
We
at all.
want to change the society.
No, we want to change society, not the leaders. It will be self-governing. There will be no leaders. Everyone can have smartphone and vote. It's direct voting without anybody who represents us. You see, suppose we want to improve.
Not society, change value and relationships between people only.
Yes, this is project for all the people. So only volunteers, no professional politics, no professional. So anyone can participate, and it is self-financed. There is no sponsors. There is no Soros behind, Rothschild behind. No, Web behind, you will do the no, not that. So we come here, we pay our own money because we are interested. That people know about that project. We print that. We print for our own money. I paid for it. I brought it here. So people that want to change, they must do something. They must share their resources with others. But if you share just to feed people or just to give somebody money, you will never change it. Because if you give money to 100 other people become poor. If you feed 100 other people become hungry. So the best way to invest is to study that program and then to think whether it is worth of telling to others. So if you want to know more, then come to us and we will give you the prospects.
The last comment, please. I'm Sam Yusuf, Professor of Psychiatry at Zagazig University, Egypt. I'd like to thank Professor Tolmathat for inviting me to this lecture. I think we are not in need for new creative society rules, but I think we are in need to study our religion well, to accept other religions, to respect our other religions, and to know our religion spiritually to benefit our people, not for new rules, but a good understanding for the already existing religious tools. Thank you.
This is what they look for spiritual rules rather than materialistic rules and consumer rules. ان الناس كلها عايشه بالماده وبتجري ورا الماده والبوزيشنز وكده، وان احنا بعدنا عن القيم الروحيه يعني. بس هم مش عايزين يسموا اديان عشان في اديان كتير، فيتكلموا على spiritual rules rather than religious rules and rather than consumer and materialistic.
Yes, because religion is already a product of consumer society. When you have just spiritual teaching, when somebody tells you about love, the greatest speaker were the prophets, yes? So it was spiritual approach. They were not paid, they were not given money. But religions are organizations. Any organizations must be financed. Any organizations must know what power wants. So they cannot tell all the truth. That's why some people, something was forgotten. Something that united all people was forgotten, was not given to people. So, and we must study religions on scientific basis. This is very important. Because if we study them, we will find a common root. And you have a nice book where this common root is described. So now you have access to this knowledge.
I'd like to thank both of you for this nice presentation. Welcome to Egypt again. I hope you enjoy. And I hope we will have you in the future in other workshops in Zagazig University.
Thank you. We wish as well success to Egypt. We like this country. We like your power. Believe it is less corrupted power in the world. It is less corrupted. But future of humanity is without power. So we have to prepare to it right now. So thank you.
Humanity values exist in different religions. So, but in consumer society we cannot realization these values. And the creative society we can do it. They will can do it.
It's all religions are here. It's not against Islam. If you read the Quran, you will see that this is the same. Bible, Quran.
أنا كنت عايز أقول ملاحظة مهمة في الشكل ده من الشغل، إنه الموديل بتاع المنتال هيلث انترفنشن، النموذج بتاع التدخل بيحصل فيه تغيير في العالم، واحنا يمكن محتاجين نتابع ده. يعني من متابعتي لشغل الصليب الأحمر والهلال الأحمر، الجمعية الدولية للصليب الأحمر والهلال الأحمر بدأوا يتحركوا شوية من الشكل الهرمي المعتاد اللي هو بيزد على التدخل المتخصص بس، اللي بيستبدلوه شوية بالسوشيال بيز، بالتدخل الاجتماعي، يعني اشراك عدد كبير من الناس في التدخل في مشاكل الصحة النفسية. وانا بسمعهم الحقيقه افتكرت ده، انه في فكره فتح الباب للشغل على المستوى الاجتماعي. هم بيقترحوا مقترح معين، ممكن يبقى فيه مقترحات تانية، بس مش كافي التفكير بطريقه انه المتخصصين فقط هيبقوا قادرين بنفسهم على حل هذا الحجم من المشكله ومن الازمه. لابد من اشراك اكبر قاعده ممكنه من المجتمع في التدخل. هم بيقترحوا اقتراح لطيف، احنا ممكن نفكر فيه، نطوره، نشوف ممكن ده من خلال او من وجهه نظر ثقافتنا ممكن تبقى ايه، لكن الموديل ده اللي انا بحاول اقوله، الموديل بيتغير لاكتر ناحيه السوشيال بيزد انترفنشن او التدخل المؤسس على المجتمع.